Have you been able to get any of the PPP money out the door yet?
We have. So, this is an incredibly important program. We've been working night and day. And as of today, I can report we've dispersed $3.7 million worth of loans. And that protects, in our area, almost 1,600 jobs. And there's a lot more to come from that. We have about 155 closings that we'll do between now and Friday to give you some sense of the volumes.
And so, Chris, it's also good to hear from you that you're getting that money out the door because we know so many people need it. Is it safe to say that we can also expect the frequency of the money getting out the door to ramp up now that the first has been dispersed and maybe systems are in place to make it a more efficient process?
Oh, absolutely. When you think about the scope of this program, to take a $350 billion program typically would take years to launch something like this, and we're launching it in just weeks. So there have been some bumps in the road, but we've been working hard with the SBA. They've been terrific. We have over 550 of those loans approved by the SBA for an excess of about $160 million. So the process is working. It was frustrating. I understand why folks might have been a little bit concerned over the weekend, but the money's getting out. It's going into people's hands. And we think it's the most important thing we can do as a bank in the coming days is to get this program done.
Chris, Tyler Matheson here. A viewer wrote to me yesterday in frustration saying that he had been stymied in part because the bank he did business with for many years and then as he checked other banks were requiring as a stipulation that you have a business checking account in order to be able to apply for one of these PPP loans. Are you requiring that? Have you heard that? Or is any kind of business relationship with the bank sufficient for you?
Well, in our case, if you have a business relationship with us, we're going to work with you. The most important thing as part of this program, you can imagine we've got to make sure that there are no kind of fraudulent cases to get through. It's being rolled out very quickly. There are a lot of dollars at stake. So the identification of our customers is really important. If you don't have a business checking account, it makes it a little bit more challenging for us to identify you and get through our anti-money laundering rules, our Bank Secrecy Act rules. But there are ways we can get through it. It just may take longer.
And Chris, we don't have a ton of time.
So if I have a long, excuse me, Rahel, I just want to follow up if I might. If I have a long-standing relationship with you as a banker, whether I'm using a personal checking account or some kind of money market account, you can figure out a way to make it work. The business checking account might be easier for you, is what I'm hearing you say.
Absolutely. It comes down to documenting the business and us understanding, where was the business filed, who were the signers on the corporation. So it's just extra steps that we have to go through. Ultimately, we will open a business checking account, but that's something we can do together. And with Treasury putting more money into this, I think we're going to have the time to do that.
And Chris, before we let you go, we did hear from the Fed earlier in those minutes that they are alarmed at the disruption to the economy. I'm certainly hearing it from workers on the front lines, but you're speaking to these small business owners. What exactly are you hearing?
Oh, the disruption is incredible. I'll give you one thing to really focus on. The number two, so the second highest request for these PPP loans in our case, is healthcare businesses. So doctors, radiology labs, things like that. And that may not make sense on the surface, but just think about, we've had to empty our hospitals, put off elective procedures. So there's a whole supply chain in healthcare. The folks we need the most right now, they need cash flows so they can keep putting people out in the field. So the disruption is pretty significant, but this program is going to help.